Hey guys, welcome back to the Girlfriends and Goals podcast. My name is Samaria and I'm joined by my best friend and co host.
Miosha.
And today we're doing an Am I the A-hole reaction. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so we hope that you enjoy it. And if you do,
Hmm.
please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel and let us know your reaction to these scenarios in the comments. All right, we're gonna kick it off with the first one since we just came off the holidays. Well, off of one holiday,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. We'll start with one related to Thanksgiving. So this one
Hmm.
says, am I the a hole for not paying for Thanksgiving groceries as a guest? I, 23 female, was invited by my best friend, 25 female of a decade, to spend Thanksgiving at her house. For context, we are both recent college graduates, and she is working minimum wage jobs to save for grad school while I am in grad school but have tons of educational loans and no income. So I cannot easily afford unexpected expenses. Too relatable. I just had a flashback.
Trigger.
Right. Okay. I have been to her house for Thanksgiving many times in the past, and I often help her family with the shopping or cooking since Thanksgiving prep can be hectic. Last year, my friend and I offered to make the charcuterie board and salad for her parents so they could focus on the turkey, side dishes, and dessert. Her parents paid for all the groceries, and my friend and I helped shop, cook, and clean. They complimented the salad and charcuterie board and thanked us for making them. On multiple other occasions when I visited, I would help them with errands like getting groceries and even cooking meals, which they would pay for. This year, we did the same thing and told them we would help with the charcuterie board slash salad. But after Thanksgiving, her mom got really angry and went and told my friend that she assumed I was going to pay for the charcuterie board and salad, and she was surprised I didn't pay. My friend relayed the information to me. I was shocked and caught off guard, but asked my friend what to do and whether we should pay. But she said it was fine, but in the future we should only shop for the dishes her parents were cooking and nothing else. I was okay with that, but then while my friend was sleeping, her mom cornered me in the house and started to chastise me about not paying for the groceries and kept saying that I was not a kid anymore and should now contribute to the Thanksgiving potluck. I was unaware that Thanksgiving was supposed to be a potluck. Nobody told me that before. I just noticed that when my friend's aunt, uncle, cousin visited, they would bring one dish. I thought that was like a hostess gift, which I had already brought, a $40 box of fancy chocolate. I thought I was a guest and was helping them shop or cook something that their daughter had okayed buying on their card and they had okayed last year. It was so awkward, and I tried to pay her mom back, but she wouldn't accept the money. But she also wouldn't stop chastising me. Her behavior felt really rude and inhospitable. I feel very hurt that she called me out like that while my friend was sleeping, and then later again while my friend was present. Nobody in her family said that they expected us to pay for the appetizer or salad this year. If they had done that, I would not have brought them such an expensive gift of chocolates. I feel so uncomfortable going back to their house, especially for Thanksgiving, because in my culture, what her mom did is the rudest thing ever. If she had a problem, she should have talked to her own daughter, who ultimately was the person swiping her car for the groceries we bought. Am I the a hole or my friend's mom? Whew,
Woo.
that was a
Okay.
lot.
That was a lot. Okay, so y'all have been friends, it sounds like for a while, a decade. So y'all are
Mhm.
almost like family at this point.
Mm,
10 years, a decade? You don't think so?
yeah, I mean, I guess the mom feels that way too because she was chastising her like she was her child.
Right. And so my thought is maybe the level of comfort in terms of correction, the mom feels a lot more comfortable being able to do it, as well as your age. You said you're 23 and then your best friend is 25. I don't think you were the a hole. It sounds like it was just a misunderstanding, but a misunderstanding that the mom doesn't want corrected. And I'm not sure why. And
Hmm.
so I think it is more on your best friend to communicate if things have changed or, hey, girl, this year my mom is expecting X. It's not on you to maybe control it because she was swiping the card. I wonder if maybe for whatever this year there were some budget constraints
Mm-hmm.
to where when maybe she looked at the receipt because charcuterie boards can add up. It seems simple, but it's a lot of individual
No, it
little
is.
things, and depending on the size of it, you could blink and spend $50 on a simple board.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the family is under some type of financial pressure which wouldn't maybe have been communicated to you. So maybe that's what's motivating her to respond in the way in which she did. Um, I do think you did the right thing by bringing something. If you're showing up to someone's house for a holiday, you don't want to show up empty handed. So, yeah, it doesn't seem like it was malicious or on purpose. I think you should have a conversation with your best friend around expectations and maybe even look into spending Thanksgiving somewhere else
That
going
that was the
forward.
first thing I was gonna say. I wouldn't go back there for Thanksgiving,
Mm.
which sounds really harsh to say because of how many years they've been friends. But I would be uncomfortable to the point where I would say, okay, maybe next year I'll find an excuse or another place to
So you
go.
wouldn't have the conversation first to try to correct it?
I don't think I don't think it's any it sounds like she did have the conversation with her best friend, right? Like about, hey, what do I do? Your mom feels away.
Mhm.
It sounds like they did have a conversation and then the mom chastised her after they had the conversation and then again when the friend was present. So I don't
Mm.
necessarily think it's a problem with the best friend.
Mhm.
I
It's the
think it's a
mom.
problem with the mom, which I wouldn't like she shouldn't have a conversation with her friend's mom, you
No,
know?
yeah, the friend should be
You know,
there. Yeah.
yeah. And so I don't, because it's an adult, I mean, they're all adults in this situation, but
Mhm.
because it's an older adult, I don't know how many conversations can be had. She's already talked to her best
Mhm.
friend about it. Um, her best friend's like, hey, this is a situation, but it's fine. What more can she converse about?
And then it makes me wonder, why is the mom not letting it go? You offered to pay. Is this one of those situations where the mom has maybe already been feeling away and looking for a reason to not really
Mm.
have you over there like that? Maybe it's your friend who's doing the most about inviting you and making you feel welcome, but that's not translating to her mom feeling the same way.
Yeah, and like you said, because I consider that there might be some type of financial burden. But if my friend is the one who's doing most of the communication, she's like, oh, well, we could just make the charcuterie board. And so you're just thinking, oh, hey, the same thing we did last year is the same thing we
Mm-hmm.
would do again. I'm not sure if the person who wrote this is aware of financial
Mm-hmm.
burdens or what's going on behind the scenes. So I think chastising her and being like, you're not a child anymore, we don't have to make the charcuterie board. I thought I was helping.
Right, because she
you know
already bought a gift
yeah.
over. It sounds as though maybe she also looked at the receipt and was like, "Whoa, y'all did all that at the store." But then maybe you should do the grocery shopping yourself so that it's within the constraints that you need it to be. Sounds like she was
Or
just trying to help.
yeah, or just take it up with your daughter. I don't know that
That too.
the friend should have heard anything about it, seeing as it wasn't that she took the card and went to the grocery store. The daughter was the one, she said, swiping the card. So,
And why wait? Yes, she did do it in front of the daughter, but why would she come to you when the daughter was already asleep?
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would feel a way towards, I would like, Mom, just make sure you communicate with me
Mm-hmm.
because, yes, I know you're my mom, but you can't act in the capacity of a mom figure in terms of chastising her. One, she didn't really
Mm-hmm.
do anything wrong, but keep that energy for your daughter if you must
Yeah.
have it. Sounds as though she's been feeling salty about her showing up eating for free.
Yeah, well, or maybe she was okay with it 10 years ago when you were 15, but every Thanksgiving since.
Here she come eating.
Yeah, I can understand the awkwardness when you were invited to a Thanksgiving meal. Um, if you,
And I wonder if the mom has this expectation, which if your expectations change in your head, that's in
Hmm.
your head. You have to
Yeah.
communicate it. But maybe she's thinking if you say, "Oh, I'm going to cover X," that means
Hmm.
you're going to pay for it and prepare it, not just put it together on a board.
Yeah. So I'm like, why didn't she say something last year when it was the first time that we made the charcuterie board? And then she also mentioned in my culture, this is rude. So I think there are certain cultural differences. So for
Mm,
example, in my culture, a lot of times if you invite somebody out to eat, it means you're paying for them to eat. And
mhm,
so like, being here where it's like,
mhm.
okay, we're all going out to eat, you bring your own money. Like there are just different things that need to be communicated that just might not be known, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you
That's
might have
a
to skip next year, girl.
yeah. I wouldn't go back, but I wouldn't not in a negative way. Like I wouldn't there wouldn't be any bad blood. I just think I
Yeah.
might consider other options next year. I'll still come around the house when it's not the holiday so that it's not like a stark difference, but
Yeah, because that's when things can get tricky of, oh, she acting funny now. It was a small
yes.
thing, and you'd hope you're
Um,
not losing your best friend or
oh
putting
God,
at that
no.
your relationship at risk over something y'all didn't even fall out between the two of y'all.
You know how I don't know if you guys have seen this tweet, but it's like if we're cousins and our parents are beefing, that's their business. Like me and my cousin are good. Y'all can figure that out. That's how we feel in this case.
I
But
agree.
let us know in the comments who you think the a-hole was and what your thoughts
Mhm.
are. And we'll move on to the next one.
All right. This one says, am I the a hole for always going home for the holidays? You might be. I, 36-year-old male, love my family and unfortunately live on opposite coasts from them. My girlfriend, 34-year-old female, is local to where we live. We've been together 7 years, no kids or plans for kids. I always travel out to see my family 2 times a year, Christmas and 4th of July. I work at a college, so essentially I have a school schedule for breaks. My family is so important to me. I take the whole 2 weeks at Christmas to stay at my family house. Christmas is special for us. We go all out. I have a large family. It's a whole event that I really look forward to. We have traditions, big family dinners, the works. I get around 4 weeks off for summer and I spend 1 week of it with my family too. My girlfriend has a small family and doesn't really have holiday traditions. The family she does have is not very close with them and fairly dysfunctional, her words. I've invited her to my family's house for the holidays and offered to pay the ticket when it's expensive. She's been out maybe for 3 Christmases and some summers. When she doesn't come along, she stays home by herself. I buy her a lot of gifts so she can open them while I'm gone. I thought this was a good thing. I can see my family. She can have the option of going to see my family and go along for the trip too. But recently, she made a comment about not having any of our own traditions because I'm always gone for the holidays. That hurt my feelings because she's always invited where I am. Her dad passed away in 2023 and she didn't come to family Christmas that year. She said it was too sad to celebrate. Then in 2024, she had a mild health issue that made travel super uncomfortable. So she hasn't been to family Christmases in a little bit. She's going this year. Am I the a hole for always going to visit my family for the holidays? We've chatted about this some, and she says she's glad I can spend time with my family, but does feel like she gets left alone. My thought is she's not alone if she wants to come with me.
Okay. I don't necessarily think this person is the a-hole.
Okay.
But I do think going forward, they might need to consider different options, you know?
Okay.
I see where the girlfriend is coming from with them not having their own traditions. Like we've been together for a while, and maybe that's something that initially she didn't think about, didn't care about, but now she wants to start creating. And so I think he should create space for her to be able to do that, to be very honest. Like, and I get it. Like, hopefully, it doesn't sound like this, that she doesn't want to take him away from his family completely. So I think maybe if they can do, okay, we'll spend Christmas with them one year and then do our own tradition the next year? Or, is it that we do our tradition a week before and then go to them? Like, there needs to be maybe some compromise, I think. But being that she hasn't brought this up before, I don't know that I would feel confident saying, oh, yeah, you're the a-hole.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. So I'm thinking it's borderline. And
Mm.
I think she's in a tricky situation because, as he said on her end, she doesn't have a large family. They don't have traditions. And so I think she's in a place of feeling like, well, if I ask him to
Mm-hmm.
stay, what would our traditions look like? Like, how could our experience at home measure up to the
Yeah.
big holiday celebration that he's able to do across the country? Um, Also, when he's leaving, he's gone for the whole Christmas break. He said he
Mhm.
works for a school. So you're talking mid December. She's seeing you after the new year. And so I don't think that you're intentionally going out of your way to be away from her. You are with family. But then from her perspective, that is a while to go through two big holidays without your partner being there.
Mhm.
And so I think her option, and maybe why she hasn't complained, is that maybe she feels like she can't. If I ask him to say, like, how will that measure up? And she's probably felt like she only has one option: either I come with you or I
Mhm.
stay home alone, because you're not going to want to stay here, obviously. So
Yeah.
I think some compromise needs to happen, whether it's the length of the trip. Because if I
Mhm.
were her, it may not even just be that she doesn't want to be around your family. It could just be the
Yeah.
the traveling during the holidays. You're in your family's home for 2 weeks. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean she wants to be in your family's home.
Yeah. And I think him being like, I mean, she's welcome to come, which that might have been how you felt up until this point where she's articulated wanting something different. But
Hmm.
moving forward, hopefully he can see, okay, she just wants something different, something that's her own, as opposed to attaching herself to something that already exists.
Yeah, and as far as her not bringing it up, if y'all have these traditions and you've always done it a certain way, the moment you pivot, and thankfully they're 7 years in, but the family will want to know, well, where's this coming from? Who's keeping you away from us? So even her broaching the topic is probably going to be challenging, because
Oh, for sure.
you would have to be very thoughtful in how you communicate it to the family so that they don't feel a way towards her. It can't be this thing of, oh, well, I'd love to come, but
But she doesn't want to anymore because she wants us to have our own tradition.
what? You're not a part of the family anymore?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't want to say she doesn't have a choice, but I'd imagine it's challenging being in a relationship where, if you're a part of a big family unit that has all these traditions, if you're coming in and trying to change things up,
Mhm.
especially if your partner is perfectly fine with the way things are.
Yeah, I also want to mention she's like a 7 year girlfriend, and not everybody wants to be married. But I don't know if like um there are hopes of doing
Hmm.
something more like legally permanent, as opposed to, okay, we're just gonna be life partners and that's it.
Hmm.
But there might also be that, like, if you
Hmm.
are a girlfriend, what right do you have to say, I don't want you to spend the holidays
Hmm.
with your family? Whereas, like, you could do something while you're dating, but then when you're married, say, okay, well, now that we're married, I do want us to have our own traditions. And maybe
Hmm.
that might be a cleaner point of
Break.
departure,
Hmm. That's very true. Very good point. Because now it's like, oh well, we're your family. That's just your girlfriend.
Exactly.
But maybe she
You,
don't want to keep showing up to the family holidays as a girlfriend. We don't know. I don't know.
because what questions are y'all asking her? Are y'all like, oh, where's the ring?
Right.
Is he gonna propose to you?
And then you're going for 2 weeks at a time. I'm sorry, that's a long time to be
Under pressure.
Yeah, in someone else's home, no matter how welcoming they are, that's a long
Yes.
time. And then
Yeah.
you say you go during the summer at least for 1 week.
And she comes in the summer sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, so I
Hmm.
understand him wanting to spend time with his family, especially them being on different coasts. So if one year you all decide to have your own Christmas tradition and you're staying,
Hmm.
then maybe you spend Thanksgiving with your family, or
Hmm.
maybe you go a different time of
There's a
year.
whole rest of the year,
Yeah.
spring break.
Or you spend New Year's Eve with them and New Year's Day with
Hmm.
them. So I don't think he's an a-hole yet, but like if he doesn't pivot within the next year,
Quickly.
yeah, you got 1 year, 365 days to get this right.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
will say, and she's keeping it cute so far,
yeah,
not wanting to ruffle the feathers too much.
for
And the fact
sure.
that you're posing the question just to see before she's made a big deal about it, you may be on the right track. We'll see.
Yeah, we're rooting for you. All right. Well, you guys let us know in the comments what you
Mhm.
think, and we will move on to the next one.
Okay.
This one says, am I the a hole for not giving my coworker a ride after she kept assuming I would? I, 28 female, work at an office about 20 minutes from my apartment. I'm pretty quiet at work, stay in my lane, finish my tasks, and go home. A few months ago, a new coworker, Sarah, 31 female, dang, you put her name all out there. um, Sarah, 31 female, started, and we got along fine, nothing deep, just normal work friendliness. One day it was raining really hard, and as I was packing up to leave, she asked if I could drop her off at a bus stop a few minutes away. It was on my route, so I said sure. No big deal. The next day she comes up to my desk at 4:55 with her bag and goes, "Ready to go?" I was confused and said, "Oh, sorry, I'm staying late today." She gave me a weird look but said okay and left. From that day on, she started acting like I was her personal ride. She'd wait by the door at the end of the day. She'd text me, "Leaving now?" even though I never told her I drive with her regularly. When I didn't offer, she'd get a little cold with me the next morning. Last Thursday, she messaged me at 4:40 saying, "Can you take me to the mall after work?" The mall is 25 minutes in the opposite direction of my home. I told her, "Sorry, that's too far out of my way." She replied, "Wow, okay." The next day, she barely spoke to me and acted like I'd betrayed her. Another coworker even asked me what happened because apparently Sarah told people I promised to help her out and then backed out. I've never promised her anything. I gave her one ride during a storm and was just trying to be nice. I don't mind helping occasionally, but I don't want it to be assumed or expected, especially when it's inconvenient and she never offers gas money or anything. My sister says I was too nice in the beginning and that people like that will always push boundaries. Another friend says maybe I should have just driven her to avoid drama. I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but the tension at work is awkward now. Am I the a hole for telling my coworker I couldn't keep giving her rides?
No, you're not the a hole. And Sarah, 31, is that her name? She's tenacious. I mean, with those types of qualities, she would do great in a lot of other areas in life. Does not easily back down.
Mm.
Also sounds like she has a little lion problem. She went and told everyone that you offered to help her when it was clearly just a one-time thing.
It wasn't clear to Sarah.
It sounds as though she saw an opportunity as far as maybe you being able to help her out with a ride
Hmm.
and was going to keep pushing for it until you clearly said no. So, no, I don't think you were the a hole. I think you may need to get over it feeling awkward and just go ahead and communicate it to her directly. In
Yeah.
my mind, you have two choices. Either you're going to acquiesce to her wants and then you're being inconvenienced and being used as a ride share,
Yeah.
your Uber now, or you're just going to have to put your foot down and now it's just awkward for you and it is what it is.
And that's what I don't get because why should it be awkward for you?
It should be awkward for her that she's lying on you.
For her and the rest of the coworkers, that has nothing to do with you.
And the rest of the coworkers, if y'all think it's so weird or so this or that, why aren't y'all joining the rideshare pool for her?
That's the question. That's the
So
question.
whoever came to you and said, "Oh, it's awkward," or "Oh, what happened?" You say, "You know what? Maybe you and so and so should alternate dropping and picking her off or whatever that looks
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
and leave me
That's
out of it."
But she did say that she's pretty quiet at work, so I wonder if it's just not her personality to confront things head on. Because by this point, I would have said, "Hey, I noticed that you're waiting for me every day after work. I can't give you a ride every day, like maybe every other week I can. So I just
Mm,
want to set clear expectations. I probably would have that conversation sooner
mm-hmm.
rather than
Up
later.
front.
Yeah, so that I'm not awkwardly dealing with text messages at 4:40 or you coming to my desk with your bags at 4:55. Like there needs to be clear honestly, I might even put it in an email so that way if you go and talk to coworkers again, I have
It's
it in
documented.
writing.
You right.
Because it's work, so you get
You
everything you
never
have.
know. Yeah, I had a situation once. It wasn't with dropping and picking someone up for
Hmm.
work, but it was a person who tried to befriend me and then started to want to have lunch with me every day. It's like we got lunch one time and
Yeah.
then it was, "Oh, come on, I'm ready to go to lunch. You ready to go to lunch?" No, girl. Most of my lunch breaks I'm spent by myself or I'm on the phone with my best friend or my mom.
First of all, I don't even eat out every day, so
That so I get how it can be awkward to turn people down in a workspace,
yes.
because you still have, but we're all adults and we shouldn't feel cornered into doing things that we just don't feel like doing. But I will say kudos to Sarah. She would be a pit bull of a salesperson.
Not taking no for an answer. For her to say, wow, okay. Like, what is the wow for?
Like, well, probably because she's thinking you're so quiet. She maybe didn't expect her to push back. If you're known as a more meek, quiet person in a
Yes.
classroom, in the office, people just assume you'll be a yes.
Yeah, and she's lucky because somebody would have been like, "Keep my name out of your mouth. I heard you've been talking in these work streets. Keep my name out of your mouth." She's lucky. She got the right one. She did because you instead of doing that, you came on Reddit to ask people if you're the a-hole, which you're absolutely not.
And what did you say? Your sister said, "Oh, people like this, you give them an inch, they take a mile." Unfortunately, there are some people who just genuinely need help. I'm not saying
Yes.
that you shouldn't help people, but I
Mhm.
think if you are willing to help people, you have to be willing to set clear boundaries up front.
Yes.
So you have to do both at the same time. Otherwise, people just love to assume.
Yeah, and then taking you to the mall, which is the opposite direction, like be very for real. And there are some people like that, but there are also others who you help one time, they appreciate it, and
Mm-hmm.
they keep on going. It's not always that way. And the friend
Yeah.
who said, "Well, maybe you should just do it to avoid drama." Both of you guys need to take people pleasing classes. I don't know if such a thing exists,
You
but
listen to her, you gonna be picking and dropping her up off on the weekends
you're
to
about to
run
be
her
the school
errands.
bus. That's what you about to be. Oh, that is hilarious.
Um,
But yeah, you guys let us know what you think. We'll be
hmm.
back maybe next week with
Maybe.
another some
Hmm.
type of video.
Hmm.
And until then, have a great week. Bye.
Bye.